Hey everybody, this is Cathy, Crowder's Mountain, North Carolina. Thank you for joining me for another video. If you remember in the last video, I promised to show you how I drew out this particular dahlia. The one that I will link to the end of this one, the pink dahlia, I figured out how to draw it from a picture. Well, when I was drawing this one out, I figured an easier way. At least I think it's easier. So I promised to show you that. So that's what we'll be doing today. And I just want to thank you all again for joining me. And if you wouldn't mind clicking subscribe or like or leaving me a comment, that kind of helps. From what I understand, it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and so it'll help the channel grow. But anyway, let me get started. Enough of that talk. Let me get started, and I'll show you what I was talking about, the easier way to draw it out. Okay, the first thing that you want to do is determine the width of your board. Now, I'm using paper, remember, because I'm using Sharpies so that you can see the lines that I draw. But when you're using MDO, or if you're using the ACM, or whatever wood medium you're using to draw your pattern on, if it's not exactly 24 inches or 36 or whatever, let that outside border compensate for that. You want to make sure, like in this pattern, I need 20 inches in the middle, my drawing space. So I used a 1-inch border here and a 3/4 inch border here. And then it gave me like a 1/2 inch so that I could have, so I didn't want the star or the dahlia going all the way up to the top of the border. See, I wanted like a 1/2 inch space. So I still have the 20 inches from here to the tip of that. I have 2 inches, so it left me the 20 to draw in. But what I was saying, if your board is not exactly the 24 inches that you need, this outside border can take up for that. Just make sure you have the space inside that you need for your pattern, and any space you want to go around the pattern, and then decide what size border you want. But this one could be, it could be 3/4 inches too if your board is not exactly 24. I hope that made sense. Alright, so the first thing I did, I used a 3/4 inch and a 1-inch border. So I went ahead and marked that off and drew it so that you wouldn't have to see that. So the first thing that I'm going to do now is find the center of my board here, or the center of this space that I'm drawing. And I have 20.5 inches in here, so I would go 10 1/4. Or I just want to go from end to end on the board, it's right at 12. See that? I'm going to do the same thing up here. It might be easier for me to show you if I just go from end to end. But again, if your board is not exactly 24, you're going to want to measure the inside and make your tick marks. Now what we're doing now, we're just finding the center of our board. And I'm trying to get up there. I tell you, I just love this hard surface that I've got here. This is an old countertop. My daughter's boyfriend took out of a house. He remodels houses, and he took this out and gave it to me. And it's just perfect for painting on, because I could take that little scraper and just scrape all the drips off of it, and it's clean as a whistle. All right, so now I got to find the center of this board, and I'm going to do that. And I'm just drawing from my tick marks now. So I'm just lining it up. And I hope that you can see this, because I don't want it to be a part of the pattern right now, but it's just got to be my guidelines. Now I could have found the, I could have went from tick mark to tick mark and found the 10 1/4 and made a mark, and then found it here too, but I like doing it that way because I know I have found the center of my board. So that makes a difference. All right, now that we have the center, I need another ruler, don't I? Got to bring out Big Daddy for this one. Alright, I need to go from corner to corner and make a 16-inch mark. So I think putting it on 18, and I'm putting it from corner to corner right here, but I'm making sure my 18 is right in the center. Alright. So let's use black for these lines, because this is part of our pattern. Make sure I didn't move it. Alright, this line needs to be 16 inches long. So I'm going to subtract 8 from 18 and go, no, I'm going to add 8 to 18 and go to 26. I'm going to subtract 8 from 18 and go to 10. So that line is 16 inches long. Let's go ahead and do it again here. Get it right in the center. And we're going to make another 16-inch line. All right. Well, go down a little bit. I just want to make sure you got it right in there. 18 to 26, and from 18 to 10. That is 16 inches. Now I'll go back and get this clear one. Now this line and this line has to be 16 inches. So I'm just going to put that on 10. I need to go from 10 to 18, and from 10 to 2. So 2 to 18, that's 16 inches. And see, that's why I said this is not a part of our pattern. It's just part of my guidelines. And we're going to do that again, if I can make sure I'm on my line. 2 to 18. Alright. Alright, go. Now, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to have 4 16-inch lines. Then we're going to make a bunch of tick marks in it. We need our tick marks to be every 2 inches. So we're just going to put it back here and just go every 2 inches. That's 18, 10, 12, 14, and then on 16. So we're just going to mark every 2 inches. Now this is similar to the way I did the other one. But I'll show you in a minute. How this one will be easier to draw. So I'm just, on every line, I'm making a tick mark every 2 inches. That's a 2 inch right there in the middle. Okay, so we've got that. So here's what we want to do. See this first tick mark here on each one of these lines? I'm going to line it up. I'm going to line it up to make sure it's straight. Kind of hard to do with this big Sharpie. But anyway, I want this line to be 8 inches. So I'm starting here. I'm not going all the way across. I'm going 8 inches here. Let me get back down a little bit so I can get that on that mark. Alright, and then over here I need it to be 8 inches, so I'm going lining it up. And I'm just going to, see I'm right on 11, so I need it to be 8 inches, so I'm going to 19. You see that? Alright, let's go up to that second set. We want these to be 6 inches. So we're lining them up, that way our lines are straight. So from 7 to 1 will be 6 inches. Let's get over here, line that back up. 13 to 19 will be 6 inches. Alright, go up one more. And we want this one to be 4 inches. So I'm right on my 4 and I'm lining them up with the next set. 2. And then from 15 to 19 is 4 inches. Alright, now we're going to line it up with the top. And this one we need 2 inches. 15 to 3, 5 to 3 is 2 inches. And over here, line it back up, 16 to 18. All right. Looks like we're drawing an eagle, don't it? All right. Now, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do 8, 6, 4, and 2. Let's get on our 8. Line it up with that first set of dots, tick marks. Go from 8 to 0. And then we're going to line it back up. So now I'm on 12 and I'm going to go to 20. It don't really matter what number you're on, just so long as you can measure it off at the right length. And if you'll notice, when I put my ruler on the tick mark here, at 7, it's not exactly on 13 over here because it's not, you can't measure it. You can't just go drawing it like that. It won't work. So you have to measure it from here, and we're going 6. And then you have to measure, you have to line that back up again, right on 13, and go to 19. All right, then let's go down to the next one. This is going to be 4 inches. Line it back up over here, making sure it's in line with that one. And we're going 4 inches. Let's get back down here to the bottom. And these are going to be 2 inches. Line it up. 2 inches. If you don't line it up, your dahlia is going to be all wonky. All right. Now, could probably leave that there. I got it taped down so it wouldn't get out of the frame. Let me try doing it this way. If I see I start getting in your way of the camera, I'll twist it around. Let me see what I can do. All right, I need 8 inches for the first. Whoa! I was way off, wasn't I? You can start down here. All right, I've got that lined up. That's 8 inches. Line it, make sure it's lined back up. And that's 8. Now I need my second one to be 6. And 4. And 2. Now the other one that I did, that pink dahlia, I measured those off one at a time, I think. I haven't went back and reviewed it, to be honest, but I remember it being harder than this to draw. But a lot of you did it. I saw pink ones and red ones. This one has been on my mind for a long time to do a white one with a green background. And I'm so glad I did it. I love it. 12 to 20, be 8. All right, and this one needs to be 6. Now, you know, the next one that I want to do, since someone did a red one, and I saw what it looked like, I love that. But I think I'm going to do a purple one. All right, this one needs to be 4. Don't y'all think that would be pretty? If I do it anytime soon, kind of getting back in a painting mode here. Almost got all the flowers planted outside that I'm going to. My husband and I have been digging and working and digging and working, and we're just about tired. We don't have a garden. We don't have sunshine in the woods. So at the back of the house is the only place we can grow anything. So we grow cucumbers and tomatoes because that's our favorite. But I'm going to draw, let me tell you what I'm going to do. If it works, I've planted some gourd seeds. Now, I'm trying to chase the sun around, and I think I got them in a place to where they'll get sun about all day, but they're in containers. So it's the birdhouse gourds, and I'm going to try my luck at painting some barn quilts on those birdhouses. I'm going to seal them with my urethane, my spar urethane. And, you know, birds can't smell, so they're not going to care. So I'm going to try that and see how it holds up. And I'll show you one when I get it finished. And if you want me, just let me know in the comments when I do it. Now, it's going to be like in the fall probably before those gourds get ready. And then they got to dry out too. So sometime in the fall, hopefully before Christmas, because I'd like to give them out as Christmas presents. I'll show you one. And if you want me to do a video on it, I'll show you that too. But I plan on using my house paint for it, because, you know, that gourds look like wood, don't they, when they get ripe? All right, I get off chasing rabbits, I'm sorry. Okay, so we got those lines. We're still making our 8-6. That's right. All right, now, so we did that 4 times, right? Now you see these other lines, these other dots that we had made? We're going to use them, and we're going to do it again. So let's get in the center. Not in the center, but on this dot, the first. Okay. We're going down this way. So see these 2 dots. We're going to line it up with that. Going to line it up with that and this. So if I, like this Sharpie, it looks like it's not lined up exactly right, but I'm lining up with these 2 ends here. So I know that I got it perfect. So I got my ruler on 9, and I'm going just all the way to the end. So you really don't have to, count this. So I got it on that mark. I'm lining it back up, make sure I got it right. And I'm just going from that mark to the end. And see these 2? You don't really even have to count it, because you know this is already measured out for you. I'm going from that dot to the end, and from this one to the end. See, that's your 6 forward 2, and you're not even having to measure. Get back up there. You see how much easier that is than the other way I did it? But you know, the first time you do anything, if you're just looking at a picture, you figure it out in your head how to do it. And that's the way you do it. Well then, sometime, you see how we got our angles right here? So we're going to go up here and do the same thing, lining them up. Trying to stay at that dot. lost my dot. Alright. So this time, when I started to do this one, you know, just for myself, it wasn't for anybody. And I thought, well, how did I do that? And I went back and I got my pattern out, my paper pattern that I made when I showed y'all. And it still was like, I don't know about that. So then all of a sudden, this just came to me to do it this way. There you go. Now, alright, I had to think a minute. Thought, where'd my dots go? But right here they are. So we're just lining it up from end to end and meeting those dots. You see how that's starting to come together in the middle? Oh. Look what I did right here. That ain't supposed to be there. Before you take a screenshot, let me get rid of that. I went up too far. I was talking. I know what I was doing. I was talking too much. I got that just for y'all so I could cover up my boo-boos while I went. Alright, now let's do that. See what happened, I saw it just the minute I started to put that ruler down. I thought, wait. Alright, so from this one out to here, out to the end. I think you're getting more of me than you are the barn quilt. And then we're just, so you're just doing 8, 4, 8, 6, 4, and 2 all the way around. All right, here you go again. Right here's the, measure it here and here. And here's the top of that. We'll get back up here and I'm gonna be getting crooked in a minute. Ha ha. No, I done that right. No, I didn't. Look, I done that one the same way, didn't I? I did. Yeah, because that was supposed to have been, that's 8, 6, and 4. I'll show you my boo-boos too, y'all. I can't just start all over every time. I'll never get one done. Maybe that's my problem, why I can't. Did I miss that altogether? That's why I can't get many videos done. Now. All right, now let's do our 6. I hope y'all don't mind me fixing my mistakes as I show you what I'm doing. Oh. See, if that was your pattern on your board, you wouldn't care. But I'm going to get rid of it before you take a screenshot. Because I don't want you to think it's supposed to be there. All right. Now, you see there? There's their Dahlia. And it wasn't a whole lot of trouble to do that. Just every 2 inches everywhere and connected them all up. So you see that in the middle? Now, I'll take this red, I'll take the blue one. And I'm not going to do all of these in front of y'all, but I'll just do like one section here and you'll know what I'm doing. Let me get a smaller ruler. So the only thing you need to do now, so you've got all your diamond shapes drawn out and that 8-point stars in the middle. So all we have to do now, see, is just divide every one of those triangles. And so then you could do that with your tape, but I wouldn't because here's why. You gotta mark these things. See, I'm just in the middle. And they all don't line up perfect. Like going all the way up through there 2 or 3 times. So I just do one at a time. There's some of them you could do 2 at a time, but not very many. See, I'm just dividing them in half. And then you'll know what to do if you make yours. Alright, so see that? Alright, now here's what happens. You need 5 colors of whatever color you're going to make. You need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So, in my case, I used bright white as my lightest color. Now that one is going to go on the left-hand side of every one of these petals. Every one of them, all the way around. So that's what I did first. It just made me feel like I was accomplishing a little bit more. So I did the ultra white. Ultra white. Did I say bright? I meant ultra white. But what I did when I was painting it, you know, I used the heat erasable pen, so I was marking on my board. So what I did, I just went down through there and marked these like this. So I could tell when I was taping up which sections I could tape up all at one time. And it was usually every other one. Alright, then the next color I did, I started with my darkest white, which was coconut milk. Now you may have another color of white, but I wanted it to kind of stand out, you see. So that's coconut milk. So then what I did, I just, you know, I made just me some marks that way. And I was doing it all the way around at one time. My next white was polished ivory. So I just, I just marked them like that. Not all at one time, but just when I got through with the ultra white, then I marked all the coconut milk, and then I marked all the polished ivory. And then my next one was Pale Bloom. Let me put this down here so you can see it. That bottle about had it. But that's Lole Veffé bottles, if you want to know where I got my bottles. So there's coconut milk, polished ivory, Pale Bloom, and my last one was Radisson. Now these are all Valspar Season Flex, except for the Radisson, and that was a bare sample. Okay. So then I just, that was, done forgot, polished ivory. So this was Pale Bloom. And then this one was Radisson. All the way around. So that it creates the effect of like the flower blooming out. So this green, I used Vegas green because I wanted it to be really dark. And then, so for the sides, I just matched this. That is coconut milk, and this is ultra white. But again, you could do it any way you wanted to. Now, if I can find that picture of this one before I fix the borders, I'll let you know. But I painted these borders a different color. In my mind, I thought brown and yellow would look pretty. Yellow for the sunshine, brown for the ground, to go with the green leaves. And it was a terrible mistake. The pattern was pretty. I used a border called Mountain Memories, and the pattern of that border was just pretty, but those colors did not go with this. So I just painted over it. I don't know in this video if you can see the little indentions or not right up here in the light. If you could see that, I painted over it. It's going to be mine. It didn't matter. So anyway, let's let you take a screenshot of that. If you think you're interested in making one. Again, don't worry about, you know what? Before we go, let me pick out the purples that I'm going to use. And I'm not going to paint it right now, but I will eventually. So I'll pick out the purples that I'm going to use and show you. But anyway, here is the actual pattern. If you want to take a screenshot of that while I get the purple. Okay, I may have to get another purple. This is Purple Prince. This is Velvet Beret. Not sure about that. This is Unimaginable. And then Purple Gala. That'll be my brightest, the whitest white. I'm just not sure about that. I I don't want to go buy 2 purples just to do one quilt, but I might put a little white in that and lighten it up a little bit. Put a little white in that and lighten it up, and that way I'll have 5 colors. Or lighten that one up. Anyway, I'll work with these 3 because they go together. That just didn't look right for some reason. I don't know, I don't know. Anyway, these are the 3 colors I'm going to use. Purple Prince, Imaginable, Unimaginable, and Purple Gala. That's Valspar. This one's Valspar, and that was Glidden Premium. Okay. I have these other ones, but they don't look right either. That's called XOXO, and that one's Cosmic Berry. I don't know. I don't know. I might put them on a stick or something and let them dry and see. But if nothing else, I'll use those 3 I showed you. Anyway, when I get it painted and I do another video, I'll show it to you, the finished product. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you subscribe and click the bell and leave me a comment. I'm always open for suggestions on how to do the videos a little bit better. And I do appreciate one video, it's not been long ago, I colored in the sides of the video here so you wouldn't see none of the clutter. But and one lady said she didn't really like that. It made it look too closed in or something, and it just wasn't very enjoyable to watch. So that really helped me, because I didn't know that I could even do that. When I tried it, it worked, and I had a mess over here, and I was just trying to hide that. And I realized that y'all rather see my stuff over here. So I appreciate that. Anyway, I hope that you all have a good day, and see you all in the next video. Happy painting!